Okay. I see this as a film about healing and a film about understanding what information we need to be looking at in order to help ourselves heal. And so those stories of courage are a big part of our film. How to adjust your lifestyle to maximize your health. And our film focuses in on people who have sat in an oncologist's office and have been told some of the worst news that you could be told.
And for you guys to put together that powerhouse pantheon of people in this industry that need to be heard.
We've done all of these interviews. We've interviewed, I think it's 11 researchers and medical doctors. He's just like us in the sense that he's got all of this incredible information about how cancer cells function, but he feels like people aren't listening. And he had the courage to say to himself, you know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to look around on my own. I'm going to dig through some of these scientific papers. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to understand what is this disease at its core and what other research, what other developing knowledge is out there. The film has been shot in the United States, Canada, Turkey, India, and Australia. So that in itself has been a mission. There are a lot of people who are already keyed into the keto and carnivore and fasting communities, and so we want to make sure we get it to them. We're coming to the end of the production. We hope to be done with the film at the end of March of this year, so another few weeks, and then we'll begin the release strategy.
In a really sick cardiac patient, if you only have a cholesterol of 50, you're in big trouble.
Because that aorta opens up, you're dead in seconds. You don't live long if that thing ruptures.
He said, Lindsay, this is about as bad as you see. When you look on the inside, you're morbidly obese.
Fat is not supposed to be in some places of the body. Fat is supposed to be stored in fat storage.
Have we been describing this as radiologists? No.
Most doctors will look at, oh, this number's high, here's a pill for you.
Essentially, he has a death sentence.
What did our ancestors 500,000 years ago eat?
We have limited food availability, and it would be unnatural to not go in a state of ketosis.
Now we have foods that are just rich with fructose, damages mitochondria.
Know what you're actually putting in your body. Learn to count your macronutrients.
When they explained to me where I had gone wrong, that's when I realized why I was so sick.
You can reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes by putting somebody on a ketogenic diet.
Every patient deserves the best shot possible. That incorporates the best diet possible, which we think is a ketogenic diet.
Food is my medicine, but the right kind of food.
We're going to get into everything today about the right kind of food. We're going to get into the fear, the false authority. Is carnivore a cult? We're going to talk about Keto Is Key. We've got a special guest. We're going to get into it right after this. For all the people that are listening on other channels,
is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking...
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
You know, that it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Looking forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
And we are live, everybody. Welcome into the Meat of the Matter podcast. We are live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe. Peter is back with us. He's in the house. It's good to see your face, buddy. I love it. We've got, just a very special thank you and shout out to Byron Funk. He does all the music for us. We really appreciate you. Go to Carnivore Beats on YouTube and TikTok. Please subscribe to all the channels. We are proudly supporting the carnivore community worldwide. They are powerhouses in our community. And if you are curious about this way of eating, this way of life, go check it out on Instagram and on YouTube. Also, a big shout out to Hunter Gatherer Mindset. I got a chance to sit down before we introduce the guests today. I got a chance to sit down with Kyle, one of the creators, one of the producers of the Keto Is Key movie, with Brian. Mark set it up, and Dr. Rosa had a part to play in that too. I really appreciate it. That interview is going to come out this week on our channel. I had a great time meeting Kyle, and I can't wait to have him back with Caroline. They did from all the trailers and all the promos that they've done so far. And the people, present company included Dr. Rosa, that are involved with that documentary. It's going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be, necessary, I believe. So Dr. Rosa, she came on our podcast. We went live, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and we had so much to talk about. We had to get her back on. We are so thankful and gracious that you would agree to come on and talk about these things that I think are very important. So thank you so much, and welcome to the Meat of the Matter, Dr. Rosa.
Thank you, Tony, Peter, Mark. It's really an honor to be here because I believe this is a service and a mission for each one of us. A service for health, a service for life, to speak louder, the same way that the people who are eating the diet that is killing us, the diet of processed foods and sugar and alcohol and carbs and moderation, the same people that are doing this, they speak very loud, right? So we need to speak loud as well, because we are advocating for our bodies to have a chance to heal, because your bodies are healing machines by itself. So we are just advocating for our body to have a chance to heal and be functional, independent, active, with memory, with strength, like being able to not need a nursing home, not have diabetes, not have a bunch of medications, just live healthy and stand up from the toilet seat and carry our grandkids and travel and have fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Well said. I think that sums up a lot of the stuff we're actually going to get into today, because Mark has selected, I'm going to say Mark and Peter have selected some clips to get into on how there is pushback. And we're going to talk about it from the systematic pushback to actual people, influencers on social media. And the reason why I said carnivore a cult is because there's people out there that think that it is a cult. And then Peter's has a great take on it. And I think we're going to get into that today. So boys, Peter, great to see you, man. How are you doing? How is everything?
Yeah, happy to be back. Yeah, I had some things at home, nothing to worry about, nothing bad, but yeah, it took some attention.
Well, we love to see your face, my man. And it's great to have you back. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to see the Dream Team back as one, as they say.
Nice. Well, okay, so we're going to set this up. Now, Dr. Rosa was part of the Keto Is Key documentary. Like I mentioned, if anybody's wondering why there's a little pre-show thing, it's just to warm up the algorithm, to get things going. Every week we do just a little warm up. And this week I put the promo on Keto Is Key with my interview with Kyle. And Dr. Rosa was a part of it. So this is something where, 11 researchers and doctors that they had on this Keto Is Key. They're not all carnivores. It's not about being carnivore. It's Keto Is Key, talking about nutritional ketosis, the commonalities between, I would say, arguably a proper human diet, and it's nuanced. So I think where we go with this is, based on Dr. Rosa's experience with, Dr. Sean O'Mara and visceral fat, I think there's a place to talk about the low carb keto side, the carnivore diet being a ketogenic diet, if you will. And we always get pushback. Mark gets probably the most harassment out of all of us. So he selected a few clips that I would love to get your take on it, Dr. Rosa, and we're not doctors, we're not scientists, but we've done things in our journeys that have been, that we just want to share. And I think that's where the carnivore community, especially, it gets taken out of context, and we're going to get it. So we should probably just roll the first clip, and then we'll all start talking about it. So, Mark, you ready, buddy? You get redemption today, my man.
Another hit, they lost one of their members, Chris Williamson.
Did, I guess, a version of the carnivore diet, which is meat and fruit, and I did that for pretty fucking strictly. So over 6 months, I felt great mentally on it. This is when I was going through a lot of brain fog, trying to detox all of the mold, and felt mentally good, but it annihilated my cholesterol. My cholesterol just went through the roof. The carnivore diet kind of has a lot of people pray at the altar of it because it makes them feel better, including me, but it can be pretty destructive to some of the important numbers, and heart health and keeping an eye on LDL levels and stuff is pretty important.
First of all, good on him for actually listening to his doctors that his high LDL was a concern. There are a lot of carnivore dieters who will just say their doctors don't know what they're talking about until they end up having a heart attack. So why do some people feel better when they start the carnivore diet if the diet is bad for you in the long run? First reason is an elimination diet. So if you are sensitive to gluten or soy or other processed foods, just by getting rid of those, you're going to feel a lot better. The other thing I think it is placebo. In our society, we associate meat with strength. So you may just feel better because you're eating so much meat, and you can't feel your arteries getting clogged. So that's why a lot of people feel better on it. And then when they look at their metrics, they're actually faring much worse.
All right, guys. Dr. Rosa, first, when you hear stuff like that, what goes through your mind?
Well, first, my heart hurts because unfortunately, the medical system taught us things that all doctors believed they were true, and we vowed do no harm. And doctors don't want to do any harm. The problem is that we were taught things that are being debunked over and over and over again with new research studies. And the doctors, but still the medical school, the medical system is not teaching the new truth, is not teaching the real truth, right? So because pharma is subsiding them to keep teaching what is not true. So I believe that it's more than time that we start discussing with our doctors over and over and over again, being our own advocates. So then the doctors who are already working start approaching this with the truth that the new research studies are showing. And then they start implementing the changes in other patients that don't know it yet. And all the doctors come together with us and with each one of you who are not doctors, and start advocating for a change in the medical system, in the medical program, in what is taught in medical schools. So like right now, it should be a metabolic program in the medical school system that it is not. There is no metabolic program. And what would you learn in the metabolic program? You would learn nutrition, you would learn the importance of protein, you would learn how to manage your carbs if you want to eat carbs, what are the carbs that would not be detrimental to you, and what the amount of carbs that would not be detrimental to you, although I am not advocating for carbs because I am more like protein and fat. But I heard someone saying the other day, and that's what happened with me, so that's what I'm going to say out loud. When I started, that I was 226 pounds, I started with keto. And I'm going to say really with low carb, paleo, low carb. And I started with low carb, and then I transitioned to keto because I thought I needed fiber and 7 cups of vegetables for each meal. And then I kept losing weight. Sometimes I would do dirty keto. And now I am where I am, right? I eat mainly 95% of the time I eat carnivore. Sometimes I eat strawberries, and I am not guilty of eating strawberries. Do you know why? because I'm not doing it in moderation. I am doing it because it makes me happy. And sometimes I just like eating strawberries, and it's just a little bit. Is that right? Could I go into a slippery slope? Yes. So whenever you choose to eat something that might not be the best thing for your body, asking yourself, does this food love me? Is this food going to be love for me? You have to be consciously choosing it in a way that you are not going to use it as moderation, and you are not going to use it, oh, I already did it yesterday, I can do it today again. You know, so I cannot have, for example, I cannot have keto ice cream in my house, which I don't have it. You know, I don't, let's just go to the past. I cannot have keto ice cream in my house because I would get the whole bowl and I would eat it, you know, and it would be my food addiction pattern, which I have to walk through it every day as I walk through my grief, which is where it comes the mindset, right? So I don't have it, but I am able to eat a cup of strawberries with my natural yogurt, you know. So you have to know what is a trigger and what is not a trigger. But going back to what I heard from this documentary, why is cholesterol blamed for all the diseases that we have right now? Because 95% or more of the people I see their imaging exams daily, either in X-ray or ultrasound or CT or MRI, 95% have a significant amount of visceral fat or epicardial adipose tissue or deep subcutaneous soft tissue. What does that mean? It means that you have cytokines, molecules that produce inflammation in your body 24/7. 24/7 chronic inflammation in your body, interleucin 1, 6, tumor factor necrosis alpha, macrophages, malfunction of your immune system. And the inflammation that 95% of us have, even the people who believe they are healthy because they have normal BMIs and they look skinny, they are the thin outside, fat inside, metabolic, unhealthy. So 95% have inflammation. Hence, they will have inflamed cholesterol. The inflamed cholesterol, together with the triglycerides and together with the inflammation you have in your body from the cytokines, together with the high glucose, together with malfunction liver, fatty liver, steatosis in your liver, together with high insulin and insulin resistance, that causes the problem with endothelial damage in your arteries that will start with soft tissue plaque, then calcification, and then the decreased flow with a stroke or a heart attack or difficulties in walking or erectile dysfunction. Okay, so the problem is not the cholesterol, the problem is the inflamed cholesterol, the inflammation that comes from the visceral fat, the epicardial adipose tissue, the deep subcutaneous fat, the high triglycerides, the high insulin, the high blood sugar. They go there and beat up your cholesterol. Your cholesterol, friend, your cholesterol is what you need for your brain, is the source, the prime source for all many hormones and neurohormones and your sex hormones. So you need your cholesterol a lot. But your cholesterol is there, your friend, to make your body work well. And then all the things that nobody talks about them, right? The inflammation, the fat, the blood sugar, the insulin, the triglycerides, the malfunction of your immune system, the malfunction of your coagulation, the malfunction of your liver come and they are like damaging your cholesterol, biting it, you know, like creating wounds in your cholesterol. So then your cholesterol gets inflamed and then your cholesterol your cholesterol joins them. It's not that your cholesterol is working alone. Your cholesterol is joining them after your cholesterol is damaged by them. It's almost like I am a good person. I don't want to say a good person. I obey the law. okay? Because everybody is a good person because we are the goodness from our souls. It's just what you choose to do that makes you doing something that it's painful or something that it's peaceful. So suppose I am a person who is doing something that is always peaceful, or mainly almost all the time something who is peaceful. And then, Tony, you are a bad guy. You are in a gang. And you are there like, Dr. Rosa, here's a punch. Dr. Rosa, here's another punch. And you are the triglycerides, you are the cytokines, you are the visceral fat, you are the epicardial tissue, the deep subcutaneous fat, you are the insulin, and you are the glucose. And you are like there hitting me, right? Me, the cholesterol. At some point, I get damaged too. So I might as well just say, I can't do this. So I join you because I don't want to get beat up anymore. And I join you, and then I am inflamed and I am damaging the whole body.
I'm curious about one thing. What do you think about this? That in that inflammatory context, so on a standard diet, and when things are wrong, when you're diseased, then of course a higher cholesterol will be worse because that cholesterol will be in larger quantity to cause, to maybe start repair processes that eventually cause heart disease. And we also have the keto CTA study where, like in every population, you will find people with some heart disease. And also there, I imagine that it can still be risky if the LDL is higher in that case. So would it be like a correlation that is just showing this effect, basically?
Yes. So when you don't have inflammation, a person who doesn't have inflammation, for example, Sean probably doesn't have any inflammation in his body. I still do have inflammation. I still have a good amount of visceral fat for me to burn. But Sean doesn't have visceral fat anymore. Sean doesn't have Dr. Sean O'Mara. I'm talking about him. She doesn't have fat surrounding his heart anymore. He could have a higher cholesterol. His cholesterol is healthy, right? And then if you put him to do a blood test, which he doesn't because he doesn't need it, you can see in his body that he's well. And he knows already because he did the MRI. But if you check his labs, I bet my house that his high sensitive CRP is normal, his homocysteine is normal, his levels of vitamin B12, magnesium, vitamin D3, everything is going to be normal. His CBC is normal. The HDL, LDL, triglycerides are normal. The liver function tests are normal. The thyroid function, the renal function, every function in your body is normal because you do not have inflammation.
Exactly.
So it's not the cholesterol. You could have a super high cholesterol without inflammation, and you would be great.
Yeah, I'm just going to chime in here, like, cause I heard Brian talk about this during the week on the podcast with Tony and Kyle, and he mentioned that we just need to get back to our the way we've been eating for a very, very long time, because this is what I say all the time. Like when people go on about blood work, and I say, how do you feel? Just tell me how you feel, because you heard the contradiction at the very, very start. He said on the video, I feel absolutely amazing. This is what he said. Go back and listen to it. But when he went to see his doctor told him your cholesterol is too high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his doctor was putting the fear of God into him. He didn't go off how he felt. He was only going off numbers. So that's pretty much where we're all going wrong at the moment, because we're focusing too much on technology and we're not focusing on how we actually feel.
We are focusing on the wrong metabolic marker.
Yeah.
Your metabolic marker is in your body. You look in your mirror and you see your metabolic marker. Yeah. You see your face swollen. You see your face red. You see your belly. You see your visceral fat. Yeah. You lay down and you can see that your belly doesn't splash because it's not subcutaneous fat. Yeah. You lay down and you see a protuberant belly, which is visceral fat. So you can see if you are sick or not only by looking at your body. If you have a protuberant belly, you do have a lot of visceral fat. You do have a lot of inflammation, right? Yeah. So you don't need blood tests.
No.
You do the MRI for you to see as a gold standard, because unfortunately, many people don't take action if they don't see what's going on in their bodies. And when you do the MRI and that fat is hitting you on your face, you see it. And some people, and some people need the blood tests just to confirm. Like I like seeing my blood test getting better because then I celebrate. But like that's me. That's who I am. My ADHD brain likes celebrating little things.
Strawberries.
Can I just ask one point? Can I just ask one question? This is what we should be looking at. Okay, when we look at our blood work, you should be asking your doctor, what is my insulin? What's my fasting? What's my fast? You know what I mean? Like if you're overweight, that's the concern there. So if you walk into your doctor's office and you're severely overweight, you know what I mean? You're eating crap. You know what I mean? Your fasting insulin is all up. Your numbers are very, very high. Your triglycerides are very, very high. Then there's a problem there. That's what we need to focus on.
Yes.
So, but you're not getting these questions asked by your doctor, and you should be going into the doctor and asking him, okay, before you start talking about my cholesterol, why you're not talking about my insulin?
What are the tests you really need to know? Probably just 2 or 3. You need to know your insulin fasting. You need to know your vitamin B12 because you want them high for your brain health. And you need to know your vitamin D3 because we are depleted on vitamin D3 and it's extremely important for all the functions in your body as well. And your magnesium. These are probably the tests that you need to know just for you to replace correctly. Because if you have a high insulin fasting, it's a no-brainer that you're going to have a problem with your blood sugar and you're going to have a problem most likely with your fatty liver, with your liver function tests, right? So you don't have to worry that much about, and it's a no-brainer that your other inflammatory markers are going to be high as well, including the hemoglobin A1C. So if you want all these tests, good for you. But if you don't, just look in the mirror. You have a belly, start taking the strategies. And the strategies are simple, are free, and it's not your cholesterol. Just let your cholesterol heal, right? Let your body heal, give your body a chance to heal, and your cholesterol will heal by itself. So that's processed foods, eliminate all ultra-processed foods, sugar, carbs, alcohol, street drugs, and milk, and vegetable oils, and you're going to be seeing in 2 weeks a different amount of difference in your body, you know. And in 2 days, if you do a fasting, like you lose a significant amount of inflammation. Every time you do something that you lose, people still follow the scale, which is horrible. But every time you lose, you do something that you cut carbs and you cut, you know, you're gonna check your scale and you're going to be 7 pounds lighter. Do you know why? Because you lost the inflammation.
Water weight, yeah.
Edema. Edema is water in your cells. So when you lose your inflammation, you are losing the water in your cells. Right? And then you lose weight. But I would say forget about the scale too, because in fact, you keep progressing, you want to gain weight in the scale.
But again, when you look at the scale, you're looking at the wrong metric.
Exactly.
Because you're weighing yourself, and this is what leads to people getting really annoyed because you get these fluctuations on your weight.
All the time.
One day you could be up 2 pounds, another day you could be down 2 pounds, and it just wrecks people's heads. And I'm like, listen, forget about that. Forget about that. Like I only put a video on this yesterday, and people ask me this question all the time: should I weigh myself every day? And I'm like, no, get rid of it. Get rid of it. What you should be focusing on is how do you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror? Are you happy? Is your skin glowing? Is your hair getting thicker? You know what I mean? This is what you should be focusing on.
That's programming, Mark. Like that. That's our. When we're born, we measure our weight, and that's our health. That's programming, in my opinion. Anyway, I think, you know, we're using scales to measure the stuff that shouldn't matter. But you know, that's kind of, it's hard to get the people off that.
They scale. In fact, I would say start telling your brain that when you see improvement of your inflammation, when you see your visceral fat decreasing, when you see your belly decreasing, when you see your energy better, you're sleeping better, you are having more focus, more attention, more clarity, and you as an adult person know that you are doing the strategies correctly, you are not cheating on yourself, you are not lying to yourself, because it's very important to be honest to yourself, you are going to use the scale on the opposite. You're going to use the scale on wanting to gain weight, because
Absolutely.
you want to gain muscle. You want to gain
100.
muscle,
Yeah.
and you want to gain bones. So you
Yes.
want your scale to go up.
I think that's important, and that's an important point, Anna, because I have to speak about this, because this is what we're seeing with women. With women, they're chronically undereating. They're putting their bodies into unbelievable stress. It's having an impact on their menstrual cycle. It's having an impact on these women eventually having kids later on in life, and all of this just to look a certain way. And it's like, well, you need to move away from this, because this is what's actually damaging your body. Just because you look amazing does not mean you're healthy, and that's where we're going at the moment.
Amazing.
We're
miserable.
Yeah, we're looking at somebody, and you know, I mean, you can see it in their face. Like they don't. And if you ask anybody who's on a low calorie diet, I guarantee it, 95 to 99% of them would say, I'm miserable, but I need to do this to look a certain way. I need to do this. They're making it normal. They're normalizing it. They're saying, okay, well, if I want to be healthy, the experts are telling me that if I want to remain healthy, I need to stay at this body composition for the rest of my life. That's what annoys me.
And body composition is a lie, because as we discussed in our last podcast, the body composition can show people who seems that they are obese, for example, and they just have a lot of muscle, right? Which is great. Or some people are the thin outside, fat inside, that the BMI is going to be good, but they have a lot of visceral fat. And I am so very sad, because I am in menopause. I'm 55 years old, and I take hormone replacement therapy since 47, when I removed my ovaries through surgery. And I am so very sorry, because for women, these lies were like perpetrated over and over and over again. Like, you have to do more cardio, you have to eat low calories, you have to do strength training. And at the end of the day, we were just increasing more and more cortisol, and we were just, because of the stress of all this in our bodies, and we were just increasing the visceral fat, because cortisol feeds visceral fat, and vice versa. And we were exhausted, with low energy, and miserable, with brain fog. Like when they would say that hormone replacement therapy was horrible. Hormone replacement therapy is a blessing. It should be done. Not only estrogen, even if you have only even if you don't have your uterus, it needs to be a balance. You were not born only with estrogen. You were born with estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So because you got older, you are not going to need only estrogen. You need estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, because progesterone is calming, is mood, is sleep. Testosterone is muscle, is energy. And there are restrictions. There might be restrictions, but you have to discuss with your provider.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Without cholesterol, you cannot make hormones.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so that's where it comes down to. It's like, okay, you're focusing on I'll give you another example, right? This only happened this week. So, no, this actually happened last week. So this lady that I'm working with, she sent me on her check-in sheet last week, and she's obsessed about the scales, obsessed. And she sent it on to me, and she was up 7 pounds last week. And I looked at everything. I was like, okay, did you do your training? Did you do your nutrition? Everything was nailed on. I said, right, okay, I need to speak to you in person. I could see when I spoke to her how mentally drained she was, because she has a baby. She's working long hours. She was putting a lot of stress on her body. So guess what I did? I said to her, okay, this week we're not training. We're not doing any training whatsoever. I want you to catch up on your recovery. Just sleep. Give yourself a little bit of self-love. Maybe go for a massage. Maybe do a shopping day. Guess what happened this weekend? That 7 pounds were gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
I completely understand, because I am a woman, and like I do believe, and that's what I my program is based on that too. My program is based much more in your soul connecting to your heart and your heart connecting to your mind and challenging your mind and building a rock solid foundation for your body breakthroughs. It's not body, mind, spirit. It's soul, spirit, mind, and body. And that's what you're saying. You need to have compassion to yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to look at yourself as if you were looking at your best friend, because you are your best friend. And then, yeah, exactly.
And can I just add one more point? If she wasn't working with me and she was working with a fitness influencer, that person would have had her in the gym doing the cardio. He would have run her into the ground. So if he's running her into the ground, guess what's happened to her stress levels? They're going even higher. So she's actually she's gonna gain more water weight on the scales.
That's what happens with the stress that is going bit higher.
Yeah.
Cortisol, of course, is getting higher because it's a stress hormone. So guess what happens? She's sleeping worse, the energy is worse, the anxiety is worse, the mood is worse, and the visceral fat is worse.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's putting on the wrong weight. She's only putting on water weight. It's not body fat. So and I think this is why it's very, very important that if people are going through this, you need to work with someone who knows what they're talking about, because this is why you're focusing on the wrong metric here. Get rid of the scales. Forget about that. Get someone who's going to teach you about how, like what Anna was talking about, inflammation. You're retaining water. This is just inflammation, and then we need to find out what's actually causing the inflammation. What's causing this excess water in the first place? And this is where the carbohydrates come in, because for every 1 gram of carbohydrate you eat, you're storing, I think it's something like, I don't know, 4 liters of water or something. Yeah, something like that. But you're storing a lot of water into the body. So the question is simply this: why do we need to carry this excess water in the body in the first place?
So what I would say is, I liked what you said. You need to find the right person for you to work with. But let's back up just a little bit. You need to work with yourself. You need to be aware of your body. You need to be aware when you need rest, because rest is needed for your brain, for, cleaning the proteins that are damaging your brain, for growth hormone. Like REM sleep is the portion of your brain that you are sleeping and dreaming, and your body is not moving. REM sleep consolidate memory, consolidate focus, consolidate attention. Deep sleep is when your brain is cleaning as janitor, is taking away the inflammation, the proteins, the edema, what causes Alzheimer, what causes brain fog. Deep sleep is when your body is regenerating everything, your muscles with growth hormone, your bones, all your cells. So you need to rest, either through sleep or, like Mark said, take care of yourself, read a book, go for a silent walk, a walk that you are in stillness with yourself for 10 minutes, and you give yourself time to just breathe in and breathe out without your phone. And then practice gratitude. Put up and out in a paper what is really bothering you, and release what doesn't serve anymore. And when you know your body, when you are aware of your body, and it's an exercise, it's a practice daily, feeling in your body when something is painful. When you know in your body, either in your mind or in your body, but when you are aware of your body, you are able to go through all the noise of the information that it's so much right now, and you are able to experiment with yourself and choose what works better for you with someone who is guiding you. Choose the right person to guide you as well, because you're not going to pull up with any BS anymore, because you're going to be your best advocate, right? So yes.
I mean, you hit the nail. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
We have a question from Byron. He's been trying to get it for a while. I want to get it to him. I'm assuming it's for Dr. Rosa. How long can it take for the body to recover from medications? I don't mean to switch the gears, but we got to support Byron.
So variable. This is so variable because there is a half-life for each medication, for each substance. So like, that's kind of interesting because I was just looking at this yesterday. So I kind of have these. I haven't yet looked if it's absolutely correct. But here, Alcohol effects. How long does it stay in your body? That it's so funny because I was reading this yesterday in a paper. So the alcohol effects, they can stay in your body up to 72 hours. Fiber, 1 to 2 days. Nicotine, 1 to 3 days. Vitamin C, a few hours. Sodium, 2 to 4 days. Caffeine, 3 to 7 hours. I'm sorry. Painkillers, 4 to 8 hours. So fast food up to 3 days. So it's variable depending on what you are ingesting. It's variable depending on how hydrated you are. It's variable depending on how your kidney and your liver function are. And it's variable if you are constipated or not. So it's really hard to say. I would say if you have any medication that you are taking and you want to look at that, there is the pharmacokinetics of the medication in the, I don't know how it's called here in Brazil, it's called bula, but it's in the medication information.
In the pamphlet.
Yes, so you could see that, yeah, thank you. So you could see there what would be the T half-life. But again, it's variable. You know, if you are moving, if you are laying down, if you are like drinking water or if you're not, it's variable according to each body. So yeah. But I would definitely work on focusing in I would say there are 3 things that are so very important. First is decreasing the noise around us. There is too much information, and many people are speaking the same things in different ways. But you have to figure out what works best for you. You have to figure out how you can honor with yourself. So I can tell you that I fasted for 10 days once in my life. And I can tell you that some days I cannot fast for 24 hours. So it's experimenting with your body, honoring your body. Some days you're going to do a 10-day fast and you're not going to feel sick and you're not going to feel weak. Some days you are doing trying to do a 24-hour fast, which is so simple, right? And by like 14 hours, you are dizzy, like I was. So you have to honor your body. Get the information, write it down, make a plan, and then make it a program. Put in your calendar. You know what? Like when you have a surgery, when you need to do a surgery, you schedule, and you're not going to skip that. If you get cancer and you have chemotherapy, you schedule, and you're not going to cancel that. Same way, schedule the time for you to prepare your meal. Schedule the time. Don't cancel that. Schedule the time for you to go to the gym. Don't cancel that. Or if you cancel, you reschedule immediately. If you have to cancel a surgery because you got the flu, you're going to schedule for you don't leave it open. So schedule, teach your brain that what is important for you, you are doing for you. And pay attention in your body when something doesn't feel right. Like when you have a headache, when you have a chest pain, when you have a chest pressure, when you have tightness in your throat, when something in your belly doesn't feel right, it's not right. Trust your body. And then you start shifting. Okay, what is best for me now? The next smallest step. What is just the next smallest step? Might be just stand up and move your calves. So
Yeah.
get the information. Get all the information. Sean has, who knows, he has more than 40 strategies. He has a bunch of strategies. Get all the informations you need or you want. Put them on a paper, and then you select 5 of them and start. Select the 5 that are easy. Select the 5 that can be stacked one with the other. Like I am eliminating processed foods and preparing my meals. Or I am walking, enjoying the sun and drinking my water. You have 3 things already together. Walking, enjoying the sun and drinking your water. So just put things together and forget about the cholesterol, forget about the other markers. Look at your belly. If you can see your belly button if your belly button is not aligned with your chest, you have visceral fat. So you don't want that, right?
Keep it simple.
Common sense.
Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna.
You know what? Jay Shetty. I am a certified Jay Shetty coach. Jay Shetty says, common sense, unfortunately, is not usually general sense.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's nowadays especially. Well, okay, guys, we're gonna get into something
We're going
here.
back to the movie because we're already talking too much again.
That's what happens. That's we go off and it's okay. We got things to say, and that's what this is all about. And we do appreciate everybody in the chats and the comments. Thanks for the question, Byron. And now I want to get into this because this is kind of going to sting Mark a little. Well, not really. He's going to sting back, I'm sure. But we're going to get into this video, this little clip about this specific thing. I'm just going to roll it, and then we'll get into it.
That there is absolutely 100% no reasoning with diehard carnivores. Okay, I'm a dietitian. I can see the potential benefits, the potential uses for a carnivore diet or why certain people do use it. But the sustainability of the diet, not it. But it's honestly hard for me to get energy to like up wanting to talk to these people that will die on the hill that carnivore is the one true best diet of all. For example, I literally have a man who calls me a clown anytime he sees my video.
I don't know who that might be.
Videos where I even mention the word carbohydrates or mention the word processed food. This man is a diehard carnivore. He is part of the carnivore cult. And the word carbohydrates like actually hurts him. It actually pains him. This man is literally begging me to hop on a call with him so he can tell me why he's right and why I'm wrong. To me, that just does not sound like fun at all. And I feel like literally anything I would say, any sort of evidence I would bring to the table, he would shut down immediately. So yeah, I just feel like there's no real reasoning with these people, nor do I have the time or care to chat with them.
Okay, wow. Peter, let's start with you, buddy. Let's start with you, Peter. Let's go.
Yeah, well, she's doing the exact same, right? That's she's actually trying to disqualify Mark. And they always take like fragments also from these influencers without shirt and eating raw meat. And they could pick me as well. I mean, I'm eating raw meat, but I'm still wearing a shirt like this when I'm doing it. And so they're just trying to make a caricature of the whole thing. And now she tries to say that she knows it all, apparently, that we are just fools, that we don't understand the carnivore diet. We don't understand the potential long-term risks and all those things. So yeah, just pure gaslighting, in my opinion. And on the other side, of course, it happens as well. I mean, there are also carnivore influencers maybe pushing back too much. And if you read the comments especially, they will, well, also like you, Mark, but you also present arguments with it. They will use words like clowns as well and much worse things, of course. And they do it also. On Dr. Itz, I think he invented the word clownivore, right? It's just to objectify us, and yeah, there's no way to argue in any normal way.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in here first, and what I have a problem with is, trust me, I'm a dietitian. I know. Yeah. So how could I possibly be wrong? And then after that, it doesn't matter what she says because she's already done the call to authority. So I think and I mean, hey, if you want to talk about a cult, let's look at how the American Dietetics Association got formed. Let's go back into where it came from. Let's go back to the food guidelines. You want to talk about a cult? You want to talk about a corporate cult? Well, I have some problems with that, with people trying to eat human food compared to the big business of, the Dietetics Association. And I'm going to say Seventh-day Adventist influence that they've had on it, all the way back to Kellogg. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it over. Before we get to Mark, Dr. Rosa, what do you think when you hear stuff like that?
Well, first, I don't like the word cult because I think that cult is trying to convince people of my truth. And what I'm saying here is you experiment with your body. And the cult, like you said, Tony, is the cult of what was taught to us. That would be easier, faster, not a problem. Canola oil with the heart symbol saying that it was healthy, like I did eat forever. So that's a cult. A cult is like the diet that has been fattening us and made us like over and over and over more inflamed and more sick because it's way better for someone like my husband who died to pay $15,000 a month every 15 days, in fact, of chemotherapy than to have like a quota in the plan, in the health in the health plan that he could use for proper food, right? Instead of paying $15,000, why don't you give someone $15,000 to buy food, right?
We could all use that grocery bill right now. Like, I mean, come on, like,
So
that's
I
insane.
don't like the word cult, because cult is what was ingrained in us because of the benefit and the interest from other people. I don't like the words right and wrong, because they are judgmental words that come from humans, and we are humans. But if you look, the word is not right or wrong. The word is what makes you feel peaceful, what makes you feel aligned with you, and what makes you feel not peaceful. So again, when you eat the proper human diet, when you eat meat, when you focus on your protein is not negotiable. When you decrease your carbs until the point you are eating no carbs, again, progress, not perfection. When you have healthy fats, when you do fasting, when you sleep, you feel peaceful with yourself. You have good energy. It's the best you, the best version of you. So by that, you already know what makes what would be good and what would be wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I would definitely check with my body all the time. When I eat this pumpkin pie, how do I feel after I eat that? And when I eat this piece of steak, how do I feel after that?
Well said.
You know,
Yeah, just to give a crazy example, diabetics, especially type 1 diabetics, they know very well that if they eat a pizza, they will enjoy it for 10 minutes, and 2 hours later they feel like crap, and blood sugars go up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do too. If you eat a lot of carbs and you are prostrated, but if you don't eat, if you are fasting, or if you eat protein, good quality of protein and fat, you have energy to work, to do all the things that you want to do for the day. So I would definitely, and I feel like walk in your lane, just walk in your lane.
That's a great point. Mark, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, first of all, Anna, we heard your story before. I'm really sorry on your loss. And this is what makes me really angry about this personally, when people tell us that we're part of a cult and we're forcing this on people. We're just saying that this is actually saving people.
Yes.
This is powerful stuff here. Like this is why I continue to do these call out videos, because I refuse to see anybody else suffer. I refuse, because I'm getting regular messages on a weekly basis from random strangers telling me I thought there was no hope. I thought my life was over. But now, after listening to you, you've given me hope.
Yeah.
Do you know how strong that message makes me feel when I get messages like that? That tells me that I'm doing. It just tells me that I'm doing something right. And this is what really frustrates me about this lady, because I've called her out. She picked on young Jonathan last year, and I called her out on it. And she's been doing it nonstop. And she's going after all the carnivores. And I'm saying to her, like, listen, you're the dietitian, you're the expert. I guess we're never going to know what I actually know until we face each other face to face. But she's absolutely convinced, because she's the dietitian. And she studied this. She knows what she's talking about, but she's not giving me the opportunity to ask her these questions face to face. Anybody, I've said this many, many times. It's very, very easy to do a video behind the camera. Very, very easy. But when you're facing me face to face, you have to answer those questions that I give you straight away, and I can pick out the bullshit.
Yeah, and again,
also,
right? The dietitians are not learning the right things, because it's same as with doctors. The doctors are not learning the right things. But
I have a question for you. I have a question for you, Dr. Rosa.
Okay.
Of all the stuff that you've just walked us through since the beginning of this podcast, how much of that did you learn in medical school?
0.
Really?
I've learned everything with Dr. Sean O'Mara, and then researching myself as a doctor. Like, I'm learning more and more about the brain inflammation and the small vessel ischemic disease that Sean all the time tells me, oh my God, you are now telling me things that are so important. So we kind of like keep learning with each other. So and the same way that people tell you, Mark, that you you gave them hope, I tell Sean all the time, and I say this all the time. I am grateful for him because I don't believe I would be healthy. Well, I'm sure I wouldn't be healthy. I don't believe I would be alive if it wasn't for me really deciding to use the strategies, because there is a difference too. There is a difference that in 2020 he gave me the strategies, but my brain was not ready. My mind was sabotaging me, and I was still in the yo-yo. And then at one point I had this aha moment that I created for my program that is like, okay, how do I focus my mind? Focus on my mind, and I heal my mind. How do I heal my health? Using the same things that I do for healing from grief. And that's when, since 2022, 23, I am in a in a process of progress, not perfection. But fortunately, I haven't gained weight anymore. I haven't. It's not even about gaining weight. I am reversing disease. I'm not like in the yo-yo pattern anymore.
But see, that's the. But see,
I'm really grateful for Sean.
But see, that's the point, Anna. That's the point. Like, nobody's going to give a shit if you've got a 6-pack and you die of a heart attack when you're 40 years of age.
They will only say, "Oh my God, you look so healthy."
They won't give a shit. I mean, I only seen this the other day. Another bodybuilder collapsed at 39 years of age. He had a heart attack. I mean, this is where we're going at the moment. We're only focusing on how you look. You look amazing. You have the abs. Okay, you look fantastic. And if you look at this lady's Instagram, she shows off her body all the time. She's lifting all this amazing weight. I'm never going to judge her on that. Never. I say to her, fair play to you. That's what you should be doing. And the message about getting women into the gym, I'm all for that. Fair play to you. Well done. But what I'm about is about health. Because at the end of the day, when you're working with people, and I've worked with a lot of people, I've worked with women that came to me and they didn't even want to lose weight. They just wanted to start a family. That's all they wanted. They were told that I'm never going to have a baby ever in my life because I'm PCOS. I was told I had to go down the IVF route. I've had over 50 pregnancies in 6 years. 50. And I'm not a doctor. Now, I've took these people on and I said, just give me 6 months. Just give me 6 months. I'm just saying, just trust me. These people have failed you. Just give me your trust for 6 months. I've had women parents reaching out to me, telling me that their kids are on the floor as young as 10 years of age in excruciating pain from endometriosis. Excruciating. I'm talking about 10 out of 10, massive pain. And they're on a waiting list to be seen by the doctor in 2 years' time. I'm saying, forget that. Forget about that. Your daughter needs to speak to me. You need to get your doctor to work with me. And let's see what I can do with her in 6 months. That pain threshold has gone from 10 down to 2.
Yeah.
How can we argue against this?
It's inflammation, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the kids now, and that's our hope, that we are going to build a revolution for health and life, because the kids now, they are sitting all the time with video games, and sitting is worse than smoking. They are not enjoying the sun because they are inside the house playing video games, and they are eating everything that is not good, because they are eating milk and cereal. Both of them are bad. Or they are eating juice and whatever. Or they are eating, like my stepson. My stepson, when he was younger and I did not know better, right? He would eat pizza and milk. And I would like, who eats pizza with milk? But anyway, he would eat pizza and milk and macaroni cheese and milk. And, and I'm like, oh my God, and that's the normal. That is still, that was not the normal. That is still the normal. And
that's what brings us into the Keto Is Key side of this too, is giving another perspective of maybe we're lost as a human species. Maybe we're lost, and finding your way back to what is the essence of a human being is all the stuff that matters. Like that's the stuff. Water, sunshine.
Yes, we were lost, and like you're saying, now we can build our way back. Not even find, we can build our way back. Because some people, we can just like I said, there is too much noise, too much information. So triage, like sun and water and walking and strength training and sleep, And the nutrition without processed foods, without sugar, without carbs, without alcohol, and without milk, without vegetable oils, and just write down what you're going to start doing and start, because it's not about it's not about the best day. It's not about when I have energy. There is something in cognitive behavioral therapy called activation energy. You do it when you don't want it, you do it when you don't feel like doing it. And after that, you have the energy. So you don't wait for the energy. There's no such thing called willpower. Your willpower is your mitochondria, and your mitochondria needs to be healthy. So you have to put your mitochondria, you have to turn on the mitochondria for it to start working, right? So your car is not, yeah, your car, you have a car in the garage. If you don't turn on the car is not going to drive by itself. So it's the same thing. If you don't turn on your body and go to the gym, your muscles are not going to be built. Your bones are not going to get better. Your brain is going to get atrophic changes, decreasing volume, and your mitochondria is going to die. So you go, and then the battery recharges by when you're doing. Isn't that what happens to our car? The battery keeps recharging when you are working on it. That's the same thing with us.
Can I ask you a question after this? Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
As above, so below. You are your cells. Your cells, they reflect all the way up. So I'm a big believer in that, and that's good on a cellular level. Mark, go for it, and then we got a question from Lambs.
No, you can ask. Lambs can ask the question first, and I'll ask after that.
All right. What is Anna's opinion of annual blood work for healthy and happy feeling people?
So healthy and happy feeling people could be the thin outside, fat inside people. So I do believe that, again, we need to go back and look at our bodies, right? Do we have signs of visceral fat? If we have signs of visceral fat, even when we are thin and look healthy and have muscles, because these are the people that are the most metabolic unhealthy, because these are the people that believe that they are good, and they keep doing everything. They keep eating the beer. They keep eating the pizza with beer because Monday through Friday they go to the gym and they look at their belly and they see the muscles. So they believe they are good, but they have fat surrounding the heart and they have fat in the abdomen producing inflammation. And then they die from a heart attack. Or they are women that are looking good because they go to the gym and they do cardio, but they have so much stress that they have the visceral fat, and then they have endometriosis and they don't get pregnant because they have inflammation in their body. So healthy and happy is great, but how healthy and happy? We have to know how healthy and happy. So the first thing is, again, I believe that every person should have a fasting insulin test, no matter if you believe that you're healthy and happy. Together with that, since you are already getting your blood done, I would definitely get my blood sugar fasting, although people cheat on this a lot, like they cheat, like flossing their tooth one day before going to the dentist, as if the dentist is not going to see that for the last 6 months you didn't floss your teeth, right? It was just the night before. So the fasting insulin, I would get the blood sugar, but mainly the hemoglobin A1C. Again, the fasting insulin is the most important. And
okay, I have a question.
I would definitely measure your magnesium, your vitamin D3, your vitamin B12, because these things are important for you. And K2,
okay,
yeah.
I have a question for you, Dr. Rosa. Why is it so hard in the world to get a fasting insulin test? Why does no GP will issue that? They'll tell you you don't need it, especially in Canada anyway.
Well, that's not a problem of Canada. That's a I have never heard about fasting insulin. I know that I've started hearing about fasting insulin less than 10 years from now. I've never heard about fasting insulin when my husband died, and it's 10 years ago. So I'm pretty sure that people are talking about fasting insulin now. My grandma had diabetes type 2. She never had a fasting insulin you know.
Yeah,
She had really
that's
bad,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, so, you know, she died from complications from diabetes. I had pre-diabetes and I never had a fasting insulin. And I was just like listening to my doctor, who is a really good doctor, you know, because he's very knowledgeable, but he would just tell me, well, your grandma had diabetes, so we just have to keep watching your weight and we're going to keep monitoring until you have diabetes. And I'm like, oh, so diabetes is my curse, right?
And even if you have diabetes, especially if it's like a long duration, type 2 like diabetes and uncontrolled, then doctors should always do a C-peptide test, which is just like, I don't know, $50. And if they don't do it, they can sometimes treat type 1 diabetics for like 5 or 10 years as if they are type 2s. And that's just very damaging for the body.
Yes. So I would definitely get your fasting insulin, and I would definitely make sure that you have higher levels of vitamin D3, vitamin B12, and magnesium. Our average of normal, unfortunately, is the average of the 95% people who are sick and inflamed. So I would definitely go to the higher numbers. My HDL always gets flagged. Oh, it's high, it's high, it's high. Who cares, right? It's a good one. Let it be. Let it be.
Like saying your inflammation's too low. What are you doing? Like you're so. But anyway, the fasting insulin test, I just find it fascinating that like so many people know about it, but yet, you know, I don't know. Do we have to write our politicians and stuff to say that this just should be a test?
Most likely.
You know,
because when my husband got colon cancer, he was 49 years old. When he got colon cancer in 2013, the colonoscopy screening would start at 50. So he was not at the age of screening, and he was having blood in his stool on and off. We thought it was hemorrhoids, right? So around 2014, there was people came together and they kind of started asking for changes in the Congress and the House. Why? Because there are lots of people being diagnosed younger, right, with colon cancer. And when they are diagnosed younger, they have more aggressive cancers and they were dying super fast, right? They were not responding to chemotherapy. Guess what? They changed the colonoscopy screening age from 50 to 45. So yes, we need to be louder. Because if we were not louder, the food pyramid would haven't been inverted.
Exactly.
Oh, but the food pyramid is not good. Hey, it's progress, not perfection.
Baby steps.
If we are moving in the right direction, we are already moving in the good direction.
Exactly.
Right?
They're listening. They are listening.
Yeah, stop complaining and keep doing your job on changing it to the best one faster and faster and faster, right?
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Go ahead, Tony.
No. I'm going to change it up. So if you have something to say, go for it, buddy.
Yeah, I was just going to ask a quick question. I'm just going to switch gears a little bit here because I want to talk about our children because I'm actually working with children at the moment. So this guy reached out to me last week and he's dealing with autism and ADHD and kids that are having behavior issues. And these kids are severely overweight. Now I'm talking about really severely overweight. I put up a video there last week. It went viral. It went really, really well. And the poor child couldn't do any exercise at all. And I spoke to the guy, the owner, and I said, listen, you're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job getting these people into the gym, but you've got to look at what these kids are eating. You really do. I understand from a business point of view, you want to make money, but you've got to look at it from a different side here. Because when I walked in, I just couldn't believe how bad it was, how bad it's actually getting. And I seen the behavior from these kids. So I want everybody's opinion on this. Because I know personally what I need to do here. I know what we need to do. We need to look at the diet. We need to, I listen to Chris Palmer's podcast many times. This guy nails it, in my opinion. Absolutely nails it. But yeah, I know exactly what I need to do with these kids because this is a big issue at the moment. You look at, everybody keeps on telling me that autism and ADHD, it's genetic, but you look at the numbers at the moment, it doesn't add up. Like the numbers have quadrupled, in the last, 20 years? So if it was all about genetics, then why are these numbers going through the roof at the moment?
Well,
Because I can tell you now, the kids that are coming through the gym that we're in at the moment, there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of them that are dealing with these issues. A lot of them, and we're just ignoring the food. We're just saying, okay, come on in, do your exercise, which I said, like I said, I'm all for it, but we're ignoring the main problem here, in my opinion.
yes.
What's the point in going into exercise if you're going back and you're feeding the child crap, basically? Surely we should be looking at this option first.
And these are the kids that when they are 30, they are having this huge amount of increased cases of atrial fibrillation. These are the kids that are 30, 40, and they are having like strokes. They are having like diabetes already, type 2. And they are not even walking anymore. They are getting those wheelchairs, So these are the people that the kids, because these kids and these are the adults that have anxiety, depression, right? So because it definitely affects your brain. And dementia, 55 years old now is the age for dementia, and it just keeps increasing the number of dementia people in the United States. The good thing about the food pyramid inversion is that it starts addressing this, right? Because now they don't have an excuse to just have processed foods or pizza or cereal or all these things that are easier. And also for nursing homes and hospital, go to the hospital. You just finished a surgery to have a surgery, and you have like apple juice, apple sauce. Yes, So
And not the delicate. We're talking yellow,
what you eat,
red.
don't change what you eat. Nothing in the world will make you healthy. And that's what Sean was able to show in his own research too, that he showed to me like in 2020. Just by cutting processed foods, not doing anything else, just by cutting processed foods and sugar, not doing anything else. Some of the clients who didn't want to do anything else, got significant improve in reversing visceral fat.
Yeah.
Just not cutting the alcohol. So I'm not advocating that, but just by starting a little bit, they already had a significant amount of improvement.
But see, that's what I'm saying about because we hear about type 1 diabetics that it's very hard for these people to get, like Peter will know this, it's very hard for them to gain weight. That's rubbish, because I spoke to a parent about this during the week. She actually brought her son into this gym, and this young fella was he was big, and we put him on the scales. He was only 14 years of age, and I think his weight was like nearly 16 stone. I don't know what that is in pounds, but he was carrying a lot of weight. And I was telling his mother, I said, listen, he doesn't need any carbohydrates here. And she's going on, but he needs insulin. If I don't give him insulin, he could die. And I'm like, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing the case that he needs insulin. I'm just saying he doesn't need it from carbohydrates. And she was absolutely convinced that she needs to eat the carbohydrates. Yeah. And I was hoping, I was like, okay, I have a contact number here if you want it. I was actually going to give her Peter's number to ring him. I was like, listen, just ring this guy. This guy will tell you exactly what you need to do. But it's frustrating because you're trying to give these people the information to try and save. Because this is what I was saying earlier on. We're trying to save these people. We're trying to look after these people the right way. We're just trying to give you like the information that you need.
Absolutely.
So we can help your child. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because at the end of the day, it honestly, it hurts me that these kids are going through this.
Absolutely, it does.
And you don't want to blame the parents, but at the end of the day, these parents have to feed the kids.
They do.
You know what I mean? So who do you blame? Who do you blame for this?
And you start with food. And you have to start with food. I want to share. Can I share something here?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Share screen. Share screen. And I want to share this. Okay. So just like super fast, this is, I'm going to make it bigger. When I make it bigger, somehow I don't see you guys. I don't know why. But anyway, this is me in 2016 when my husband died. So you can see that there was a lot of inflammation. The MRI shows the visceral fat, shows the epicardial adipose tissue, shows the fat in the liver. And we discussed this in the other in the other podcast, and also the thin outside, fat inside, and the brain that is normal, and the signs of small vessel ischemic disease that are microinfarcts that lead to vascular dementia, and the muscle as a Wagyu muscle. But that's what you're talking about, the kids. These are kids that the parents started the strategies with Sean, and the kids got their own MRIs. So they already had lots of visceral fat. But what I want to show here is, look at the change when they do this.
Yeah.
Just
Amazing.
about your kids that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And this is food. This is just changing the food, you know. Like, look at the lips. Look at the how the lips are way bigger and way more like red because of nitric oxide, right? Look at the way the puffiness and the redness, and how he can open his eyes again. Look at how this kid is zombie, and now he's like super alive, right? The energy is completely different. And
that's actually what I see with my clients, even though the scale doesn't change. That's beautiful. That's at that level, but it happens to us all. That's what happens.
Yes. Well, you just can look at me here, and you can look at me now. The difference, right? So what I want to say by that is, the parents, the grandparents, then they have to learn for them, but they have to learn for the kids, because this generation is the generation that, how they said, your heart attack at 40 started when you were a kid.
But how do we change it, Anna, if the doctors are convinced that getting this information off us is what's actually going to lead to death? How do we change this narrative?
I think that we have to keep doing what we are doing, Mark. We have to keep talking louder and louder, and we have to keep like spreading the information, and we have to keep asking the people who are listening to this podcast, who resonate with the information, to just not listen here, but share with a client, share at your work, share at school, share with the doctor, you know. You see something that Sean O'Mara is talking, Anthony Chafee, Chris Palmer, Georgia Edie, you see something, Dr. Boss, you see Dr. Seafried, you see, send to your doctor, send to the nurse, you know. We have to stop like gathering information and keeping them just for us. Because the vegan, the people who are, you know, they don't keep it for them. So we have to speak louder, and we have to come together, and and plan something like, oh, I'm going to contact the school system. I am going to contact the governance from my state. I am going to contact the governance from my city, from my neighborhood. You know, start making gatherings that you show your results, you know, and little by little, one by one, we are going to have to, that's how we have to do.
But that's what I said to him. I said, could you imagine this young fella that I put up the other day? He's a big guy. But I was like, okay, could you just imagine if we looked after him for 10 months? We put his symptoms into remission. He lost the weight. He looks vibrant. Imagine what that could do for your business. Yeah. Whereas now we're just bringing kids into the building to exercise. And as I said, I get it. I understand it. It's fantastic. But I just don't think it's going to work, because at the end of the day, if these kids are exercising and they're eating crap, you're not solving the problem. You're not solving the problem at all.
Right now you have that on this podcast, the picture of those two kids and the picture of their MRI. Show to your friend. See here, these are kids who are extremely inflamed because they are eating crap. See, these are the kids after they do like 2 months. I don't even know. I think it was even less, because the body heals faster the less inflammation you have. And the kids, fortunately, didn't have enough time to be as sick as they would be if they would start later. So these are kids that started the strategies on eating, nutrition. Look at the difference. Yeah. These are kids that were not exercising, but you add exercise. I don't know if they were, to be honest. Yeah. But if you add exercise, imagine the difference.
But the thing is, Anna, exercise doesn't burn body fat.
No,
that's
no. Yeah. What I'm saying is that your friend focused on the exercise.
No, No,
right?
no, that's what I'm saying, and I'm not saying this against you. I'm just saying that when you look at what's going on in the world at the moment, we're looking at the wrong message again, because we're convinced that if we want to lose body fat and we want to lose weight, we just need to exercise.
Oh, yeah,
It's the wrong message.
It's the biggest loser.
It's like
Yeah.
Sean
The biggest
showed
loser.
it's like Sean showed in his studies, the people who would only eliminate processed foods and sugar, they were the ones who also who lost the visceral fat without any exercise. But I talked about the exercise here is because you said your friend focused on the exercise for the kids, but the kids are obese because they are eating wrong. And it's hard to brain on your friend's brain that the nutrition is much more important than the exercise.
Absolutely.
So what I would say is, like, since you have the image from these kids and these kids were nutrition changes, you could show your friend and say, listen, look at this. These were kids that were eating what you are feeding your kids, your clients. If you feed the kids what is the proper thing to feed, look at the difference. And they were not even exercising. And they got all this difference because the inflammation went away because they changed their food. So you can see that changing the food of your kids is going to be different too. And
100%.
then when you change the food, if you add the exercises that your friend is already giving them, imagine the difference are going to the benefits are going to be even like faster, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the exercises will build muscle. So you
But
see
you know what, guys?
power of
I
nutrition allied to his power of exercise.
I'm gonna take this to a even deeper level. If you look at what is mentioned about autism, obesity, disease, non-communicable diseases throughout our whole age demographic, if we do not start addressing this, this is arguably existential to the human race. We're not going to have anybody to take care of us when we're older. We're not going to have anybody that's functional if we don't start worrying about the foundations and chipping away at the dogma. And I don't think these people that are telling, that they're the dietitians and doctors, even for the most part, really tie it all together like you've done, Anna. Like that's the important thing here. If we don't start doing this, we are in a lot of trouble as a human race. And that's just
and that's why I believe our job is to keep talking, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't from Sean coming to my office and talking and explaining to me.
But that's the thing, and I find that since I've been working with this guy, I feel like I'm holding my tongue too much. I feel like I need to do more, because if I don't speak up for these kids and be a little bit more, not aggressive, but just speak about it more passionately, these kids might not be here in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna look back at it in regret. You're gonna be like, holy shit, why didn't I not do something more about this?
And I don't think each person behaves. You can sense your friend. Okay, would your friend be more open? How open your friend would be if you would come to him like me, kind Dr. Rosa, or like Dr. Sean O'Mara, practical, or like you, more aggressive or more passionate,
Yeah, but see, I had this conversation with him, and he was like, okay, no, I'm a PT business, I'm a class business. And like I said, I understand the business point of view. I get it, because I have my own business myself. I'm an online coach. So I get it.
So does the medical system, Mark. So does the medical system. They understand it's a business too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got to move away from the money side and look at what the most important thing here. And that's health.
Away from the money side if he doesn't. If his kids do the nutrition and get better, visibly better, faster, he will have
That's what I'm saying. He'll be able to travel the world. He'll be able to because this
more clients, and he will be definitely serving.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm actually going to send you and Tony the video of this young fella that I worked with during the week. This guy has over 2 million followers on his page. 2 million followers. So I'll send you the video when I'm finished. This guy has a lot of, even celebrities. Celebrities are reaching out to this kid. Celebrities. And they're all willing them on. They're like, we want to see. People are actually sending gifts over from America. They're giving this child clothes, runners, bottles of water, or like flask of water to help him on his journey. Could you just imagine if we just like said, right, okay, we're going to park all this, we're going to keep doing his training, but we're going to nail his nutrition. We're going to nail his nutrition. And then we show the progression where he is right now, where he's, I think he's around 18 stone. He's a big, big guy. And we show the transition over 10 months.
Yes.
Could you imagine what that would do?
And
This would blow up.
And that would add, he's already serving with his heart, but that would add more because he would be definitely serving for goodness, for health, for, improvement of the body as a whole, right? So definitely, if he sees the picture of these two kids that we just shared, if he sees, you have to, I think that instead of, I don't know, maybe by bringing pictures and showing to him this kid improved, and the nutrition was simple. You don't need to cut the carbs if you don't want to, at least not in the beginning. Let's just start decreasing. Let's just start one step at a time. We're not going to give milk and we're not going to give juice anymore. Okay, let's shift. Oh, we are going to help these kids to fast at least 12 hours every day. We're going to help these kids to get to 16 hours of every 2 weeks. You implement you bring one thing. Oh, we're not going to give cereal anymore. We're going to give like eggs, boiled eggs or scrambled eggs, like just bring the change. And he's going to say, oh, but that's going to probably be more expensive. No, it's not going to be more expensive because
gram for
first
gram.
of all, yeah. And you can tell them we're going to put the kids to fast, so the kids are going to eat a little bit less. So that's good. You're not going to be spending more. And the kids will spend less as well with medication, right? And the anxiety and the depression. All these kids are so anxious. They're like Generation Z. Generation Z is named the generation of anxiety.
Yeah, and like for me, this is just for me. I just don't think I can continue to work in this environment if we keep on ignoring this. Because I can't work in an environment where I see these kids really, really struggling
But
to exercise.
You can't leave because you are their only hope.
You're not leaving anywhere, Mark.
God put you there. God put you there with a purpose, with a mission.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just hoping that these people just give me their trust and they say like, okay, we're gonna go by what he has to say. But if they're not gonna listen to me and they're just gonna say, okay, no, we're just gonna exercise these kids, I just don't think for me I can stay in that environment, and it would hurt me. It would hurt me walking away from that, because I know I'm walking away from something that I could have had a massive impact on. Massive impact.
Well, ask for a month. Ask, hey, let's do a workshop of 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's do a workshop of 8 weeks. In these 8 weeks, we are going to change how these kids eat, and we are going to see how they behave if we are doing a little bit of fasting here and there. And then you bring a meal plan. You bring everything. You bring everything for them ready. You don't, because they're not gonna give you trust. You're gonna build their trust in you, right? So you bring the workshop, 8 weeks of a workshop, or 12 weeks, because I believe 12 weeks would be better. Ask for a 12 weeks. Let's do a workshop. These kids are gonna eat this before the exercise. These kids are gonna eat that after, and these kids are gonna we're gonna have an app. Create a competition between the kids. There is these apps that they can track, like how many hours of fasting. There is this app here that I have a group that we do together. It's called Gym Rat. In this app, you track everything you want. You could select what you want, and then you have the rankings. And I am in second, and I am really pissed off. The kids are gonna feel like that. So you're gonna be like creating something that will make them want to do, because they are kids. I am a kid too, and I am pissed off. So again, build something, build something that it's fun, easy, joyful, and enjoyable. So you come with a 12-week workshop that you want to offer for them, together with your friend exercises. You bring the meal plan. Today is eggs day, tomorrow is meat, ground beef, whatever. Instead of taking away all the carbs, make a burger with lettuce. Teach the kids to make a burger with lettuce. You don't want to be really strict, because when you go from 0 to 180, your body is not adapted to the change.
Exactly.
Guess what? Your body wants to go back to 0, right? Your body doesn't even want to be at 90. So slowly but surely, just like today, it's burger with lettuce. Tomorrow and no sugar ketchup. Tomorrow is no juice, and we're gonna try flavored electrolytes. The water.
Yeah,
The other day you're not gonna making pasta, but you're making palmini pasta, which is low carb with ground beef and
Or
tomato
dumpling.
sauce that it's tomato sauce that doesn't have sugar. See, you already took away so many things.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then like by the fourth week, we say today it's gonna be a meat only day. Then it's not a surprise anymore.
Exactly. Step by step. That's the key.
Yes,
Step by step.
But bring it, instead of talking, just like create a 12-week workshop and bring to him. I really wanted to do that but bring as a game. I really wanted to do that, but I want to do that as a game to see how the kids are going to like it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, you know what?
We didn't talk about the movie again.
Dr. Anna Rosa. You know what? But that just goes to show that
maybe another Sunday.
We're gonna have to do a part 3. We're gonna have to bring you back on and actually get into it. The Sundays are a little bit more. We kind of explore
because
things,
I work 10 hours a day.
Just having you here is a blessing to us, because you bring a wealth of experience and from a doctor's perspective that we don't get to hear very often, especially most of us, especially in the chats and in our community, are battling with our GPs and our doctors in the mainstream that don't understand this, and we're actually trying to teach them. So
the good thing about now, one good thing about now, and I don't know if insurance would pay for that, but one good thing, if you don't have a doctor that is listening to you, that's not your doctor. So if you don't have a doctor who is not listening to you, you should look for a functional doctor, a metabolic doctor, because you could have a trainer like Mark or Tony, and a coach like a mentor like Mark or Tony or Peter or even whoever, and you could have the doctor just to follow you every 6 months or every year. But find a doctor who is going to listen to what Mark and Tony are discussing with you, so you could go to your doctor and he's going to understand. There are lots of metabolic doctors now, I think so. I don't know. I don't believe all of them are concierge doctors, because I see my doctor here in Nebraska who knows Sean, and she agrees with everything that I talk to her, and she is on CHI Health. So again, I believe you could find a doctor who will advocate for you and walk holding your hands.
Nice.
Well, and can I just say to yourself, Tony and Peter, he's going to be watching this as well. I apologize if I was talking over you guys, but you guys know how passionate I am about this.
No, it's not, buddy.
It's just like so if you felt like I was talking over you guys, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it either, but I have ADHD, so I do talk over people, and that's rude. I know it's rude, but it's who I am.
Mark, one thing I know about you, buddy, is your passion and your heart, and I think it's larger than life, and you are more than welcome to speak. That's what we designed and put on the show for. So, you know what? This is the platform to do it, and we share your frustration. Believe me, and we're all in this together, and that's why we enjoy, guests coming on, Anna, like yourself, to it gives us. It props us up to know that we're doing the right thing, and that's something that it's nice to hear the encouragement of talking louder, screaming louder. I know Brian and I talk about this all the time. To get the message out. And it's not about the cult of carnivore or the cult of dietitians. It's about human.
A revolution for health.
It's human beings acting and living like a human being, and you have the right to be healthy and to do what you think and feel is right. And in my opinion, before we say goodbye, I encourage people to take in all the information you can and see what resonates with you and try things. And, you know,
Yes.
we get accused of being dogmatic, but I have been an N of 1 for the last 6 years, and I still am learning. It doesn't stop. I don't just eat meat with my shirt off and growl like a lion. That's not what this is about. It's about self-discovery and self-love. And it's really frustrating. And I share Mark's frustration when we hear people that have been taught and told, because I came from the same system. I was studying to be a nutritionist, and I didn't want anything to do with it because I didn't want their title to be taken down when I was practicing something completely different. So I feel you, buddy. And before we say goodbye, I just want to say Peter had to take off early. Please follow him on Low Carb Perspective. He's back with us, and we just didn't want to interrupt anything, so he just had to duck out. We were going to get into his little thoughts on carnivore sending the wrong message, but we're going to do that. We'll probably do that next week. We're going to be here every Sunday. So, Mark, before we say goodbye to Dr. Rosa, any last words? Any final things to say?
No, honestly, it was a great chat, and like I said, I apologize if I spoke over you guys, but like I said, it's just, this is what we are. We're so passionate about this. We just want to see people healthy, and there's just so much crap out there. And like what Anna said, we just need to keep on fighting and just get our message out there, and just try and save people. We're never ever going to say that we're doctors. No offense to yourself, Anna. We just want to help people, and like, you're never gonna ignore real life experiences. Like, that's where I have on my CV. I have a list of transformations of real life experiences. So that makes me qualified. In my opinion, that makes me qualified.
All of us are qualified. All of us are qualified. All of us have goodness to share. So again, knowledge, goodness, kindness, love. So the thing is, get your frustration and keep shifting it to force. You have a force inside of you, all this passion, all this experience, all these awesome results, and just go with something that is easy, fun, joyful, and enjoyable. So then they are not going to see like as if you are trying to convince them of something. They're just going to say, "Oh, I like that."
Well done, Dr. Anna Rosa.
Pray for that.
Yes, Dr. Anna Rosa. How do people find you? Where can people go to?
People find me on YouTube, Anna Rosa Gratitude. People find me on Instagram, Anna Rosa Gratitude. I would love to have people to come and subscribe to my channel on YouTube or my account on Instagram, because especially on YouTube, I know that you have to have a certain number of subscribers for you to speak louder and louder. And I am far from this number of subscribers. So I definitely, if you
join the queue. We're the same. Don't worry. We're the same.
So if you resonate with us, just subscribe. Not only like listen without subscribing. It's so easy. Just push the button, and doesn't hurt your finger. So it's not like pricking for senior ketosis. Just subscribe, because there is a number we need to have to be more like influential. And I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be someone who is going to speak louder and louder as an advocate for health and life. And yes, so that's it. And also another thing, knowledge is power. But you don't do anything if not with knowledge. If you get the book, read and close. You're not going to get any results if you are just listening here. So listen, share, discuss, bring to your community, bring to the school, bring to the priest, bring to whoever, and make this become louder and louder with us.
Very, very well said. And Mark, where do people find you?
I'll see you next Sunday.
Yes. You're always welcome. You're always welcome. Mark, where do people find you, buddy?
Just go on to social media. Just key in Fitness Beyond Time. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. And if any of you are ever struggling with your carnivore journey and you're looking for a coach, just send me an email. My email is nsmark93@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Well said, brother. And once again, please go and subscribe to Byron Funk at Carnivore Beats. He's the guy behind all our music. We really appreciate it. It makes things pop. We usually focus our feature track before the show starts, and we do appreciate him. So, like Dr. Rosa said, go subscribe to his channel. I also want to always shout out to the carnivore community worldwide. They are a big part of this. And if you're interested in getting connected to like-minded people and having great conversations, they do lives on Instagram and YouTube. Please go subscribe to them. Also, Peter, Low Carb Perspective, please. I know there's a lot of channels, guys, but it really does help when we all do these things together. Of course, our conversation with Kyle, the producer of the Keto Is Key documentary, is coming out on Thursday. Brian, Hunter Gatherer Mindset, a big part of this as well. Please go out, subscribe to Hunter Gatherer Mindset. But our interview with Kyle comes out on Thursday, and this Keto Is Key documentary is going to be huge. 11 heavyweights in the metabolic health space, including Dr. Anna Rosa. She's featured in the film, and you can please go follow her at Anna Rosa Gratitude. We love the collaborations, and we so appreciate you, Dr. Rosa, for coming on, sharing your wisdom, sharing your experiences and your thoughts, especially. And I am putting together a program for life after GLP-1s, whichever way you got to a place where you're going to need some help because either you were misinformed, the finances fell out, you relied on something. There is no shame, but I do believe there is no support system for the people that have possibly had some damage done because of these drugs. So I'm putting together a package and something to help people with everything, with their mind, with their spirit, and it's going to be a place to go. It's going to be life after GLP-1s. I'm going to keep everybody informed about that, and of course, I'll be probably asking these two to do some special talks about our thoughts on them. But you can find me at Tony_Food for Thought, and we are the Meat of the Matter podcast. We're live every Sunday, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe, and at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over here on the West Coast. And Dr. Rosa from Nebraska, once again, thank you so much. We will definitely love to have it and do a part 3 and actually talk about the documentary and actually get into visceral fat. And,
I think I'm going to come in here once a month, so then we can talk about life.
That's
I love talking to you.
Well, we love talking to you and we appreciate it. So we are on Instagram, TikTok. Please follow us. Sorry, not TikTok. We're working on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And if anybody's missing this and you want to hear it in your car, we're on Spotify. So we'd love to see you. Don't forget, Keto Is Key interview with me, Hunter Gatherer Mindset, and Kyle, the producer, this Thursday. See you next Sunday. Love you all. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the comments. We'll see you later.
Thank you.